get in here. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite lucky unlucky boy's favorite nerd. And today we are looking at the Toy World. I got the box right here, Max, so I can tell you what it's called. The Spanner. The old spanner wrench. So, let me tell you why I say lucky and unlucky. I'm lucky because it's a triple changer and I get to do both alt modes first and then end up at bot mode. Usually I have to go the other way and it's just more work for me, so lucky day! I'm unlucky because I have a friend named Robert D who loves to buy me toys I don't want. So I personally didn't have any interest in this Springer. It wasn't, you know, just aesthetically, I think it nails the Studio Ox design, but I'm not going for a Studio Ox kind of inspired collection. Here and there, I might take some pieces, like if they ever do a Studio Ox Predaking Masterpiece size, that's definitely the one I'm in for. Same for Abominus. That being said, my good friend, the Maniac, Robert D, has more money than sense, and he bought this for me at TFCon because he knew I didn't want it. And that's the type of gifts that he likes to give. For instance, this, that, these, this, those, that, these, this, that, and this horrifying thing. So this is how it comes packaged. We're gonna get back to that. It does have a few places for the weapons and accessories, which we'll talk about here briefly. So this you can put in the same port as where the helicopter blades go, and then this can actually plug into the side, although I don't think it's necessarily intended that way. You can do it. And those same guns can also plug into side ports on the side of the vehicle as well, and that's how it's intended. I just wanted to show you the other way, and they look great. I think it looks very appropriate this way. Of course, utilizing the same two tabs or two ports, you can have it for helicopter mode as well. He holds his guns just fine, but it does use this weird 5mm slot system like they did for Coolsville. I don't like it at all. I think it's very ugly. Comes with one baggie of screw hole covers. Nothing wrong with that. It comes with one extra face with a pretty intense expression. Some folks like that. It's not necessarily for me, but it comes with that. Comes with two guns, one for each of you with the red paint inside, and a very nice sculpt to them. I will say Toy World does put some pride in their weapon sculpts. I've noticed that a lot here recently with the Coolsville and with this fella. It comes with two of those. And of course, what good is a Springer without a sword that turns into helicopter blades? And of course, he comes with one of those. Decent enough sculpt, no paint. We got the green plastic and gray plastic. Once again, tons of line work and stuff, so that's cool. And of course, he holds his sword as well. So back to this fella. This is how he comes packaged. You'll know he doesn't roll very well. The reason why is because these do need to rotate down, these wheels here, and they're on both sides. And that will put the wheels on level with the other ones, and then he'll roll like a champ, so no issues there. Nice detailings and stuff. We have the yellow paint here on this die-cast chest piece. We have the silver paint, the gunmetal silver there and there. Some red paint accents added in. We have some gray paint added on this piece here. I wonder if that's yeah, that feels die-cast as well. I'm not sure if it is or isn't. It doesn't quite match, but I'll take it. And every now and then I'm okay with it. It kind of, you know, it's a subjective thing, and it greatly depends on, you know, how you feel about a particular piece. But overall, I think it looks pretty cool. I love all the line work. Like, I love all this stuff, you know, that's sculpted in and designed. I think that looks really good. There's some silver paint up in there. Underneath is fairly clean. It does have this weird, like, cobweb stuff all over it, which is a little strange and makes me want to wash my hands, but I guess it's glue. Like glue residue. I'm not sure what it is, but I'm touching it like I do, so maybe I don't have the sense in this scenario. Either way, it looks pretty good. Let's take a look at it next to Tiger Tracks. Oh, and what the hey, Omnigonics as well, because that's a thing I have now. Also thanks to Robert D. and Matthew Deluxe Baldwin, Hail Hasbro Reviews and so forth. But yeah, these I think this scales well. I think this should be a big, beefy brick of a vehicle, you know, space age and stuff. It doesn't need to scale perfectly with the Lamborghini, but I think it looks, you know, fine. So let's get him transformed. Rotate these around. They're on a hinge. They're on 3 hinges, 2 operating one way and the other the perpendicular to it. Fold those back around onto themselves and plug back in. And then plug the tail fin kind of together as you're getting it connected. Flip these 2 pieces back and these 2 pieces around. Flip these pieces up. That'll allow you the clearance to get the arms out. You can flip this piece out. You got to move that anyway. And it's a tight little tolerance up in there, but you can get it. Bring this piece all the way around, and that tab there will plug into that port there, and it's a little bit of a tough fit, but you can do it. I might not be able to. There you go. Flip the gun out. We'll do the same for this side. I do like that the guns are kind of self-contained. They do unpeg, but I can show you that here in a second. So if you break them or something, or you know they pop off during transformation, you can just pop them right back on. No fuss, no muss. Fold this gun out as well. And then you want to bring these out. They're on a double hinge, and then this piece slides down. And fold this piece down again. And then I'll get that cleaned up. But that's the basic motions of it. And then take this piece. Good grief, that's a tight little. Peekaboo. Fold this down. And this will peg into the other side of this crotch flap here. I'll get it clean. Oh, I guess we can put the blades in. Just open up the sword's typical Springer fashion. Plug that in. This is a tight little fit too. I'll clean it up. We'll take a look at it. Alright, so one thing I forgot to mention, and it's not in the instructions, is you can slide this piece out there for more of a nose cone, which does make a difference. I don't know if, I guess this is supposed to stabilize it. This piece comes a bit untabbed as well, at least for me. But I don't know if this is supposed to solidify a bit better, but maybe I don't have it right. Okay, I was messing with it a bit and I found out where the problem is. So, and I don't, you know, I don't know, whatever, I messed up. So here, fold this thing in here, and then that will allow that to tab in to the arm, and then that solidifies this. I told you it didn't feel right, and I messed with it a bit, and that's the answer to it. So strike that criticism from the record, so to speak. Here's my thoughts on this. I think this works visually. I don't think it's the most solid, but you know, it's possible I made an error. Stuff has a tendency to kind of move about on you. Cockpit opens. Blue translucent there, and then the seats are all painted inside. Or maybe they're not. No, they're painted. Gunmetal silver. I do think it is cool, though. And I think that the transformation is fun. Like, it's, you know, it's rare on triple changers that the transformation is fun. Size comparison-wise. And yeah, I don't really have much complaints about it. I think that, like, I don't know. I think that it's a smooth transition. And I could use more of that for little things there, little doodads and so forth. I could use more of that. To get them into bot mode, let's just do a couple things straight away. Push the wheels back up inside. Flip the guns. Take off the propeller, obviously. This piece here is tabbed into the legs. Untab that. Slide that forward. Rotate this here. I think it's like that. I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's like that. So you're just rotating down here. You're not rotating at the hinge that you used to transform it earlier. And then split this and pull these down to the sides. And I think that does it. If not, we'll figure it out later. All right, split the legs. Get the leg bent all the way around. Watch the kneecap. And then rotate here so that everything kind of lines up. It's hard to stay oriented. There you go. And then where am I from? Arkansas? I've been hanging out with Matt. He's from Arkansas. Fold this around. This comes back down, and this tabs in. Where's the tab? There to there. There you have it. And then you can sort the foot out. So, same for this side. Line her up. Fold the kneecap down. Bring this around to the back. Plug in there to there. There she has it. But oh, this one's not. There you go. Bring this and this down. Watch the head. It needs to come up through this channel. And I'll tell you what, why don't we tab this together? And that might make all of this a bit easier. Yes. And then these two tabs go inside of the abdomen and tab in. And then these green pieces come around and tab back in. This comes up. Is there? Oh, no. This. Let me get my little tool. There we go. And then that tabs into the neck plate very delicately, but works fairly well. That's a little loose there. And then we just need to sort the arms out. So open this piece up, bring this down. We want to make sure that this is rotated up. And then fold the hands out in the classic third-party Transformer style. Rotate the shoulder blade piece. So look, I was fighting with this thing for a minute. I just cut all that out because I realized it's not supposed to come all the way forward. I thought it was supposed to sit all the way forward. There we go. Same on this side. Rotate up. Open this piece down. Bring down the forearm. Get the hands out. Close that back up. Slide this piece up. This piece down. Make sure the shoulders slid down. And I'll get them cleaned up and we'll take a look at them. Alright, so let's talk about them. We have light piping for eyes, which you know I'm not a fan of. I tried to tighten the screw to hope that that would help with the floppy head. It doesn't, because the head is on a hinge swivel. So the hinge is very loose on mine. Individual results may vary. And the swivel works fine. And the range is pretty good on the hinge too. It's a shame that it's like this, at least on mine. No paint up here. I think the face may be painted with a white coat, which does look good. But the green, a lot of the green here, to be fair, looks very plasticky. You know, I think you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that. Like this doesn't. You know, that looks great. A lot of the painted details and stuff do a good job of breaking up the gray, but the green looks very plasticky. All right, moving along. Waist swivel. We have yellow paint for the chest on top of the die cast. It doesn't match that yellow. That yellow does look plasticky. Swivel here. It looks like it was made at the you-know-who factory. And then we have this double hinged system. So you do get a little bit of a butterfly joint, which is nice. And reversed, which is nice. Using the hinge, you can get the arm up to 90 degrees. Using the swivel, you get it all the way around. It just might shatter your windows. We have an additional hinge here at the bicep, which is a little obnoxious, honestly. And then we have, good grief, another swivel there. And a double hinged elbow that gets you 90 degrees. Or a little bit past 90, way past 90 degrees, I should say. Wrist swivel. Fingers are on a base pin knuckle. Does that, and once again, just like Coolsville, the top two and bottom two are separate pieces, which is strange. And then the thumb is on a ball peg, which is okay. Same for the other side. Moving down the figure, we have waist flaps here, and they are individual, so that's nice. To universal joints, their friction gets you up to there and back to there for the full Monty. Out to the side for the full Van Damme, so no issues there. Thigh swivel built around the universal, and then you have an additional thigh swivel here. This kneecap will get out of the way if you need it to, and then you can pose it back to kind of keep the sculpt nice on a soft ratchet, very soft. They get you 90 degrees at a knee hinge, which is cool. And then for the feet, we have basically it's all on the foot. There's no real ankle articulation. The foot just doubles as the ankle. You get a tilt down, a tilt up, and then a bit of a rocker. So it performs its job, even though it's maybe not the best. And I think that this is supposed to sit up. I'm not sure. It's hard. These instructions are kind of obnoxious, but I think it looks better facing down, and I think the back of the figure cleans up fairly well. It does have these massive shoulder pads. The Studio Ox Springer looks just like this. I know people don't like the way that this looks, but in terms of going for what they were trying to go for, I think they nailed the aesthetic.
Size comparison wise, there he is next to the Studio Ox inspired DX9 Rodimus, and I think they look fantastic together. I think that's a really good look. And there he is with a few other MP styled robots. We have the Takara, actually I think that's the Hasbro Rodimus, and then the Unique Toys, right? Blur, and then the X-Transbots Wheelie. So, you know, I think that size wise, he looks fine. Final thoughts wise, I think it's pretty good. I do have a couple issues. I think it's a cool sculpt, and the parts that are painted look great, and the paint accents look great, that a lot of the greens and the yellows that aren't painted end up looking very inappropriate for the context of the figure. There's a lot of squeaky joints on this fella. It doesn't seem to have that like really polished tolerance to him. And then subjectively, the Studio Ox design for Springer isn't my favorite Studio Ox design. Studio Ox is a very tricky beast, man. Like, it either looks amazing or it looks a little too far off the reservation, and this is one that's a bit off for me. That being said, I think they do a good job of capturing it. It's just whether or not that fits your sensibility. Real quick, before we move on to positives, a couple things I want to know. The head, like the neck hinge being loose, is bothersome also. And because some of the joints are really tight, there are some joints that are a little strange. Like the knee joints, for instance, have a tendency to bend back the other way when you're going to pose it. Nothing that a quick workaround doesn't fix, but something worth noting. But overall, the articulation is amazing, especially the way they did the shoulders. I mean, it just allows for so many options. I really would like to see a lot more butterfly joints and stuff incorporated into Transformers. I know it's difficult to do, but when they do it, it's just so amazing. It's got a fair amount of paint on it. Of course, you know, I'm a glutton for paint, so I could always use more, but there is a fair amount here. The engineering is intuitive and fun and pretty straightforward. The instructions aren't as well done, but once you get a feel for how the figure works, it's pretty easy to flip back and forth. I think it has a decent presence, and the materials feel good. So it's a recommend for me as long as you're okay with the look. I think the look is going to be the real thing about this that kind of puts people on the fence. With everybody moving towards a very tune-accurate kind of portrayal, it's hard and it's challenging to find a place for this guy, and it's a shame because it's actually a pretty well-made figure. Toyworld doesn't have a stellar reputation, it seems like, in the fandom, and I'm not exactly sure why. I don't think they've ever made a bunch of terrible products. Sure, some have been better than others, but I don't think they make a bad product overall, and I'm not exactly sure why they're not kind of more revered. I think a good bit of that has to do with aesthetic cues, and this one would be no exception. Thanks for listening, thanks for watching, till next time, take care.